Hi guys, my name is Diana. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I wanted to talk about my May reading wrap-up. I'm actually really excited to film this because this is probably the most books I've read in a month. I'm really slow at reading, so this is actually extremely out of the ordinary for me. So I'm excited to share with you guys like my thoughts. I also have quite a bit of thoughts because I finished 2 books that are the only books in a series so far. You'll know what I'm talking about when I show you. And then I started a really popular series that I want to talk to you guys about. So I have my list right here. I'll show you. Hold on. I'm going to organize them a little bit better. Okay, so this is my stack of books for this month, and you're gonna be like, Diana, that is literally nothing, because I was just like catching up on a lot of like the May reading wrap-ups. I say catching up as it's literally not the 1st of June, but I was watching a lot of the reading wrap-ups that came out recently, and there's like people that are averaging like 20 books, which first of all, I genuinely wish that I could read 20 books. But it's not possible. I've been reading for such a long time, and my reading speed has not gotten like significantly better in the sense that it lets me read 20 books a month. So I just go with whatever I can read. So luckily, because I got out of school relatively early, I had like a whole extra month to be reading. So that was really nice. And I think that, and like the nice weather and just being at home back in like my bedroom just made things so much more easier for me to like read. And I felt comfortable to just keep on reading and reading and reading. So I am going to be showing you guys my books. So I'm going to start off with the graphic novel that I read. First of all, it's really popular right now, and it was such a fast read, so I'm just going to start with it. So I read the Heartstopper book. I rated it a 3 stars, not because I thought it was like bad or anything, but just because I had actually started by watching the Netflix series that just came out, because I had a family member that was like obsessed with this series, and she wanted to watch it with me and like binge it while she was like sleeping over. So we watched it, and I love it. First of all, they're both so cute, Charlie and Nick. They're so sweet, and it's just like literally like eating cotton candy. Like it's just like it's like so cute. So I rated it 3 stars because I already knew what was gonna happen, and I also felt like if I hadn't read the books, or if I hadn't watched the show and just read this, it would almost feel a little bit like anticlimactic. Oh my god, anticlimactic. But I don't know. I just like I feel like they could have added more plot into this. Like Alice definitely could have added more plot. But I only got the chance to read this one because since the Netflix adaptation came out, my Barnes & Noble has literally never had these again. Like the only one they have in stock is the 4th one, which I don't feel like I need to buy right now, just because I don't have the 2nd or 3rd one yet. So I'm hoping I can find them soon and read them. But I love the 1st one, and the freaking drawings are so, like, look at Charlie here. Like, that is so cute. I'm not showing you guys these in like any order that I read them. But I think I read this one. This was my 2nd read of the month. My 1st read of the month was actually The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this book actually took me a while to get into. I started this in April, the ending of April, and I just like, at first I was not a fan, but I think that was partially my fault because I was coming off of like the worst reading slump after reading Ugly Love, and it wasn't like a positive reading slump. I actually did not like Ugly Love whatsoever, like at all. Which is gonna sound so bad because I know a lot of people love Ugly Love, and I think because I had those expectations going into it, I was just like, I don't know, it just didn't meet any of my expectations. I hated all the tropes in it. Like I didn't fuck with it. Like I don't know, I wasn't a fan. So I read that, and that kind of put me in a reading slump because I was like, I had such high expectations for it, and it turned out to be poop, and now I like don't want to read any other books. I'm scared it's gonna be so bad. So I started this book because I was like, YA, like let's change up the pace. Like this is a mystery, like completely different from Colleen Hoover. Like let me give this a try. But it was almost like too much of like a shock of like a change, because I'm going from Ugly Love, which is a book that doesn't have very many settings. Like it's literally like, it has like a certain space that the book takes place in. It's written partially for like the smut, and the characters are like the driving point of the plot. Whereas this book is young adult, so there's no smut whatsoever. It has a whole bunch of different settings. Obviously, the most popular setting is Hawthorne House, but even if you read this book, you know that Hawthorne House has like millions of different settings within it. And also on top of that, you have like the characters who are also driving parts of the plot, but the plot in itself is like so eclectic almost. Like it's just like I don't know. It's just like, I feel like it's eclectic just because the house is described almost as like eclectic. So just like the whole vibe of it was like completely different. Which honestly, after I got into the book, it was like my saving grace, because I started it and I was like, I don't know if I'm a fan of it. Like, I love the pacing though. The chapters are really short, so I really appreciated that, because it really helped me like get further throughout the book. But I was like, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. And then I think I reached probably like the 30% mark, and I was like, okay, like, I get it. Like, I love this book. And I just, like, could not put it down. And then after I got probably, like, 60% into the book, I literally finished it in one sitting. I did not finish this book anywhere near one sitting. Everyone always says that, but I could not. I just couldn't get into it. But again, I think that was my fault. I rated this one a 4 stars. Again, it was also partially my fault just because I, like, went into it with, like the slump from the previous book I had read. I loved it. I will say now that I'm team Jameson, which I feel like is not very common for people that I've like people's vlogs that I've like watched that I've read this book. Most people are team Grayson, which personally I'm team Grayson. Like for myself, I'm team Grayson, but for Avery, I'm team Jameson, excuse me. So obviously the next book I read after that was The Hawthorne Legacy. That's why I said I like read 2 series, although technically this isn't the end of the series. There's another book coming out at the ending of this year, which I cannot wait for, but I'm excited. I love this book. I gave this one a 5 stars. I just think it was so much easier starting this book because, like I said, it was really hard for me to get into the first book and like to understand the setting and everything, whereas this book literally starts off at the ending of the other book. So it's like, you don't have to worry about setting. You don't have to worry about the characters. Like, you know everything already. So it's just so easy. It's just so easy to just jump back and dive into the plot. I loved it though. I gave it 5 stars. I definitely recommend it. So just know that this book, it's not like other series where sometimes the second book or the third book are like worst. I think this one's definitely better. So the next thing I started, which I was really nervous about, but I loved. I actually adore these books. I'm literally obsessed with them right now, is the Addicted to You series. Oh, it is so good. Like it is so good. Okay, so I was like starting these and I was like, this is kind of scary because I mean, you have the whole Addicted series where it's just about, for the most part, it's just about Lily and Lo. So it's like, what if I hate Lily? What if I hate Lo? Like, this is really scary. It's so funny. All the characters are so likable. I know I watched like a few reading vlogs about this book, and everyone was like, I don't like Rose. She's not my, like, I don't like her. She's not nice. Like, she's so mean. I read this and I was like, she's not mean. Like, I get it. Like, I get where she's coming from. And I think it's just because she reminds me so much of my older sister, but also reminds me so much of myself that I was like, I get it. Like, I know what she's saying. Like, I understand why her meanness comes off as mean, if that makes sense. Like, it's not mean. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, you get more of like Rose and understand why she's like the way she is in like Ricochet, and I'm assuming in like the next books. But like right off the bat, I did not dislike Rose. Like, I loved her. I only gave it 4 stars because I felt like towards the middle of the book, it kind of like got kind of boring. But I mean, it's also hard because this whole book is like, has again somewhat of like a home setting where it's like their apartment, and I was just like, okay. Whereas like if you get further into the series, like all the other characters and like the rest of the family kind of like joins in more, and like that gives more setting, if that makes sense. But the ending of this, oh, totally caught me off guard. Like, not really, but it also did, because like Lily alluded to like the ending of this book a little bit when she like was like talking about the 2 characters, if you know what I mean. So like I got it, but like I didn't expect like the little plot twist when it was revealed. I was like, oh my god. Like, it was really good. I loved it. The next book I read was Ricochet, and I literally read this in like a day. So good. I gave this one, I think, 5 stars. I think I gave it 5 stars. But I totally lost my train of thought when I was talking about Ricochet, but I am going to say I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I just appreciated the fact that things started looking up, if that makes sense. And the character development in this was so crazy, and there was like a legitimate scene where I literally annotated. I was like, I cannot believe just how like good the visuals were, if that makes sense. I was really nervous reading this book because a lot of people, when I like ordered this, were like, oh, this is literally just like a novella, like there's no point for this whatsoever, like you literally, like it makes no sense, like there's no point, blah blah blah. I thought it was really good. Like, maybe I'm just like not as like critical when it comes to like shorter books. Like, I don't have very high expectations when it's like such a thin book. So it's like, I loved it, but like I can get why people don't like it, if that makes sense. Like, it's really not centered around romance. It's more centered around like the found family trope almost. I don't know. I just think it gave a lot more meaning to Lillian Lowe. But anyways, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I actually already have the Addicted for Now book, which honestly, this is literally terrifying me because look how thick this is. Like, there's probably so many other books that are just as thick, if not thicker, that people have probably read. But like I said, I'm not a fast reader, so I'm scared like this is gonna take up my whole month. I literally just got in the mail yesterday and I haven't started it, but that is because I am actually starting Caraval. This is actually for a book club that me and my friend have started. I already have a foot in the door in this book, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I loved it so far. I also really appreciate, did I just drop my bookmark? No. Okay. I really appreciate that this book, like the map, all the names on this are like Spanish names. Like you have like, what is it? Castillo Maldito, like that's Spanish. Or you have like, what is it? La Serpiente. Like, what? I love it. So I just like, I don't know if it's like supposed to be like almost like Latin-esque, but like me being like Latina, I love it. I'm so excited to read it, and I'm so excited to talk about it later on throughout the month. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment down below anything that you want to add about any of these books. But I will say, if you're going to talk about spoilers, which I don't mind obviously because I've read all these books, just make sure you put a spoiler warning for other people that are looking through the comments. Thank you guys so much. I hope to see you guys soon in my next video. Mwah.